Welcome to Picks with the Professor, the sports betting show hosted by a real statistics professor. This is Major League Baseball for Tuesday, August 6th. Back here with you, night recording. Going to try this here for a little while. I think we can get back to some consistent shows. So assuming everything goes well here with some travel plans I've got this week, we should be back on a normal nightly schedule. Going to give you a couple picks. I know you got a lot of things happening in life, so I don't want to spend too much time on it here. We will kind of get right to it quickly. Highlights, A-grades, Rec Shop on Sunday. We had a great winning week with the A-grades. I probably should put the whole week on there. Actually, now that I think about it, play of the day, just been doing well. And as we've been talking about here, this is not short-term success. I shared this slide last week, and both of those unit numbers went up from 1 week ago. The ROI is still hanging around 5%. And again, that's not 5% APY. That's 5% compounded daily. It's 100% APY if you're doing the professor's picks here, the A grades, the top picks, because you're basically doubling your bankroll, and it's more than 100%. If you're doing all the top model picks, if you're not subsetting them. So a lot of reasons to be excited. On top of that, folks, we've won our last 7 in a row here on the free show. I know it's been spaced out and sporadic. Apologies for that again, and thank you so much for your patience. But 7 of our last 7 picks here, 11 of our last 12 here have won. So we're doing really well here. Everything's been going great for the most part. So I know you're excited to have a little bit more of this. But again, you should be on Dub Club, because even when we don't do a show, we have extra picks over there, all the benefits. The membership pays for itself, folks. The Discord chat is a great community of people who often discuss other sports, other bets, all the Olympic stuff right now, WNBA when it comes back, golf, MMA, all sorts of goodies. That Discord chat comes with your Dub Club membership. You get details, projections, and the notes. If I don't do a show, if I don't talk about the game you're interested in, I'll put a note that would be the key thing that I'd be talking about in that Dub Club write-up, so that you get to see that all the information for every single game, every single day over on Dub Club. And if you're looking for just the play of the day, a little cheaper package, just for one other really good play I like, you can get that too for a little bit of discount. That QR code will send you to the spot to get all that. Some quick reminders here. Pickswiththeprofessor.com/new information about the community and the model. It is a player-based model. Ratings reflect the current roster. So just take that into account, based off who's on the IL. That'll kind of affect things here a little bit. The average grade's 100. Higher implies more runs. Projecting an average game means I don't know what's going to happen in one game. We're going to see some weird things. We're going to see some things that play out just like normal. I can't tell you the future, but what I can do is say with our model, we have a pretty good idea of what probability things happen at, and that tells us what price to bet things at to make money. That's what we've done all season long. That's what we've done for years now. It guides us by this principle. Anything is a good bet at the right price or the right number. I will tell you what we are looking for on every single game for first 5 run line, everything you could be after over on Dub Club. We'll talk about a little bit here on show with the 2 games we're going to cover, but as always, of course, take what you like and leave the rest. We're going to start here with a game of intrigue, Angels and the Yankees intrigue. I say that simply because, of course, the Yankees are one of the stronger teams in baseball. Everyone's always interested in what the Yankees are doing. The Angels, probably have a following, of course, with Trout out at this point. Not great things, of course, for them. It's going to be a moderately chilly August night. We've been playing a lot of overs over on Dub Club. And I wanted to do this game specifically because I wanted to make sure the people on Dub Club see this pick and they aren't like, wait, did something go wrong in the system here? Because we've been playing so many overs. The only unders we're playing are like certain dome stadiums at this point. Seattle maybe. It's been really rare that we've been playing the unders because of the warmer weather that we've seen across the country here, starting at that heat dome or whatever the heck that was at the end of June, into July, now into August. And I expect a lot of hot days to come. But folks, the key thing that you need to check out here, while the Yankees have the number 1 offense in baseball, the Angels don't have a great offense. And so when we turn to the weather, upper 60s for this one, 10-mile-an-hour wind, maybe gusted up towards 15-mile-an-hour blowing in from left center field. What does that mean? That means if we're recording this overnight, we're 24 hours away, don't know exactly what the weather will do, but if it shifts a little bit, it's probably still be blowing in. It's not like it's blowing in from left. It's like, oh, that could turn to a cross. I mean, blowing in from kind of center fieldish, I'm not really sure much is going to change. We also have a slight chance of rain. I don't think it's going to affect anything, but if there is any delay, that only is going to help us out even more as the temperature gets cooler and cooler. The Angels, again, I don't really think they're good at anything. Davis Daniel, as a starting pitcher, not bad underlying metrics, but a young guy who the model's not overly high on. So you've got just really a rough Angels team. The Yankees obviously should run away with it. That's why the model says they win over 70% of the time. But we've got this total at 8.3, largely because of the weather, largely because, of course, Luis Seal for the Yankees is a pretty good pitcher. Probably not quite as good as that 3.20 ERA. Underlying metrics a little bit higher than that. XFIP's in the low fours, but he still projects right around 4. He should have a lot of success. The ball's not going to fly. We do expect the Yankees to score runs. But when you're playing in a game in Yankee Stadium, they've had a lot of these games of late where it's warmer weather, the wind's blowing out. The Yankees and their opponent are going to put up a ton of runs, but this is not really the night for that. The Yankees should score some runs, but to get up towards 9 or double digits would be a little bit surprising with this weather. It would take a complete meltdown, which is obviously possible. There's no locks in gambling, but I really like this under 9. Minus 115 for the odds here. Again, we're projecting 8.3. I think this total should be at 8.5, and they should dare you to go under, knowing the Yankees have the best offense in baseball. So the fact that it's 9, I think, is a little bit of value. Don't know how the number's going to move. It tends to move about 2 out of 3 times towards my model. So hopefully you're watching this early. If you're with us in Dub Club, you already have this pick. You already know what I like this. So you're able to go ahead and get this ahead of any movement that might come from it. Under 9 there. But of course, folks, as always, shop around. Make sure you have multiple sports books at your disposal to find the best number, the best price, the best odds. Every time you can save a nickel or a dime. That's more winning when you win, less losing when you lose. If you don't have an account there yet, BetUS is a great one to add to your portfolio. Drop some money in there. Take advantage of their 125% bonus on your first ever 3 deposits. It's $2,000 a piece. We'll give you tons of picks here if you're with us over on Dub Club to play through the rollover requirement. And again, shopping around, finding the best price. Sometimes that best price is at BetUS, and you're going to want to have multiple outs, including something like that. If you don't have an account there yet, sign up today.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
And that'll take us to our last game here for the show, Red Sox and the Royals. Seth Lugo has been a money-making machine for people who've been backing him all season. He's been fantastic. Brian Bayo, on the other hand, has had a rough year. I really want to talk about the pitchers. And so I want to talk about a lot of things. This was a great game to talk about. I mean, two teams that are, above 500 in the playoff race. So I think this is a game everybody's going to be interested in. Really want to spend a lot of time talking about these starting pitchers. So I might ramble a little bit here. Apologies for that, but there's a lot of interesting details to go into deep diving this game. First off, Brian Bayo, 5.13 ERA. That's not exciting. Remember, we talk about ERAs not necessarily the best representation of a pitcher's value. If a fielder makes an error, everything that happens after that, once you get 2 outs, is ignored in ERA. It's like it didn't happen. Well, if a fielder lets a ball go through his legs and the pitcher for the 3rd out and the pitcher allows 10 more home runs, some of those home runs are the pitcher's fault, right? There's a lot of 50-50 calls on what's an error and what's not. Sometimes the blame's all on the pitcher or the fielder, but a lot of times it's kind of 50-50 or 75-25 or whatever. So it's not the best metric. That's why we look at the underlying metrics. His FIP is fairly inflated. He's been pretty unlucky with the home run ball. Doesn't bode well on Kaufman, but just hold on for that thought. We'll kind of touch back to it later. XFIP of 373. That's pretty good. He projects in the low 4s. So he doesn't even project to be as good as that XFIP. But in the low 4s, Bayo projects to be a pretty solid pitcher. Not amazing. And Seth Lugo is the better pitcher. Don't get me wrong. But not as terrifying as that 5.13 ERA. On the flip side, again, Seth Lugo, like I said, money-making machine, 2.57 ERA, but we just talked about maybe not the best metric. FIP at 331 is deflated from his XFIP of 380. What does it mean? He's been lucky on the home run ball. So what does that tell you about playing in Kauffman Stadium? We're expecting a lot of runs in this type of park. So the home run stuff's been very interesting with these two pitchers. I think one's been unlucky. One has been very lucky. In Kauffman Stadium, that's a park where that can really balance out even quicker than normal because it's a hitter-friendly ballpark. And especially it can balance out based off who you're facing. The Royals offense isn't bad. They're just below league average. Obviously, Bobby Witt Jr. is incredible. And the team scores more at home, don't get me wrong, but it's just an okay offense. I mean, they should score some runs, absolutely. And neither one of these bullpens, of course, just to make sure we're covering all our bases, are not worth anything. But the Red Sox offense is up to number 3. Now, again, part of that is attrition. All these teams have different injuries. The Dodgers offense has been decimated at this point, without Mookie. Freeman's back, but, and Max Muncy, et cetera, it seems like with them, the Astros still without Tucker, right? So there's a lot going on there. And when you look at the full ratings of the offenses, the Red Sox are, rounding error from like 7th. So maybe let's not even talk about that. Let's just talk about the fact that the model thinks they're a full standard deviation above league average. They are further above league average relative to where the Royals are to league average, or very similar, I should say, to the starting pitcher discrepancy, except by a bigger margin. The difference between the Red Sox offense and the Royals offense, as you can see on screen there, 24 points. And there's no real unit to this measurement. 24 points. Pitchers are only 14. That kind of steers me into a direction to say who's going to have the edge. The edge is going to go to the Red Sox offense. When we get to the bullpens, I think the Royals still have an edge. They've revamped their bullpen. They've added a couple guys. The Red Sox bullpen isn't overly impressive at this point, but that offense is still much better for the Red Sox. So I might have buried the lead here by wearing the Royals jersey. I think this is pretty close to a 50-50 game. I think the Red Sox should be slight favorites. Even if we ignore that and say this is a coin toss game, the Red Sox are the better offense. You've seen it tonight here on Monday night as I'm recording this. Right now, the Red Sox, if they don't blow it, they're 5 runs now in the 7th inning. The massive pitcher disadvantage with a fairly washed up, it seems like, James Paxton against a really good Brady Singer here this year. And you saw what happened in this game. They kind of got to Singer a little bit, and then they got to that bullpen. Again, neither bullpen's impressive. It's not about the bullpen at that point. It's about the Red Sox offense has been really good. They've been scoring a lot of runs of late. If you've been playing their overs with us with the Red Sox, you've been making a lot of money too. I think this is an anything can happen type game. 50-50-ish. We're taking the Red Sox at plus 122 is incredible value. We talk about thresholds. What number to play is good? Again, you get this for every single game if you're with us over on Dub Club. The model says a threshold for this one is plus 108 or better. So plus 110 or better is fantastic. I doubt the plus 122 price stays around for too long. I think that's going to drop because I think people are going to realize that the Red Sox are a great value. I think people, watch this show, respect this show. I think it comes in the money sometimes just because of what I say. But as it drops a little bit, I still think as long as it's plus 110 or better, the model's signing off. Even plus 105, I think, is okay. It's not as exciting at that point. But this is a pretty coin toss game. And if anything, I lean Red Sox. While the Royals bullpen is improved, I don't really think they've got a lot going for them other than Seth Lugo, who I know has been incredible, but he's not that much better than Bayo. He's a little bit better, but what is a lot different, and you're seeing here on Monday night, is this Red Sox offense. Doesn't mean the Red Sox win. It just means that at plus 122, if we can play this game every single night, we're going to go 81-81, and at plus 122, we're going to make a lot of money. So Red Sox plus 122, love that one here. Have some other picks already overnight, another total, another side, have a parlay for people over on Dub Club, to play of the day, all sorts of goodies, and more picks coming tomorrow. Sign up today. Link in the show description. As always, thanks for watching. And remember, you can eat your betting money, but please don't bet your eating money.